Hey, welcome to the How to Sing Better Blueprint. In this video, I want to talk about 3 crucial components so that you can sing better. Let's go. So the 3 crucial components we're going to talk about in this video are 1, balancing pressure and flow, 2, flow phonation, and 3, registration and really mixed voice. Let's start with number 1, which is balancing pressure and flow. You could think of this as connecting your air to your voice, which is kind of the foundation to everything that you're going to be doing when you're singing. So 2 of my favorite ways that are very simple to do this are 1, the raspberry, which is where you stick your tongue out over your lips and you do this. Now, that's my favorite one to do. You might have trouble doing that, and if that's the case, you can also do the lip trill. So you can put 2 hands like this, or 1 hand, or even no hands, and find one of those that feels good for you, and start working that up and down your range like this. You're not trying to sing full, you're not trying to be impressive, you're just trying to get some airflow to those vocal cords and get the vocal cords stretching out through their range in a very easy way. Okay, let's move on to step number 2, and this one is really crucial to singing better, and this is flow phonation. Now, there's different levels of phonation that your vocal cords can do. 3 that I'm going to mention briefly here, but focus on flow phonation, are 1, flow phonation, 2, neutral, which is like speaking, and 3, pressed phonation. Now, the best way for me to demonstrate and illustrate this, and hopefully make it very clear and simple for you to understand, is using a flow ball. So it's just this little device like this, connects in here, and you put the ball. They've actually done some experiments with this, and they found certain ball heights that correlate to the different levels of phonation. When you're in neutral phonation, the ball, which is basically the amount of air we use for speaking, the ball will just leave the basket, or leave this little hole right in here. That feels, yeah, basically like just talking right there. Now, pressed phonation, the ball won't move. It will, well, it won't lift. It will kind of just bubble there. I don't have enough airflow moving through to raise the ball, because the airflow is the force that lifts the ball. Now, flow phonation, the ball's going to raise about 2 inches or about 5 centimeters. And when the ball is about that high, you have approximately 0.4 liters per second of airflow moving through, which is what raises that ball, and that is correlated to flow phonation. Happy birthday. Yeah, so it's like this really flowy, and it feels very singy. It feels very singy, you know. This is what, like, when you see natural singers, they sing in flow phonation just kind of naturally, and it sounds really nice, it sounds really good, and it also feels really good to do. Okay, so that's just to explain, that's flow phonation. You have flow, neutral, and pressed phonation. We really want to zone in now on flow phonation. I believe flow phonation should be kind of like your baseline or your starting point from which you can do other things stylistically. Like pressed phonation every now and then is really cool to do to express something that requires that type of phonation. But from a pure technical standpoint, and even in a longevity standpoint, flow phonation should be your go-to. Now, I know you may not have a flow ball with you, but something that I am sure you have is a card, a business card or a credit card or something like this. And I have found this can get you basically the exact same result as the flow ball. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna blow on our hand like we're cooling off hot soup. Then turn your voice on and then put the card up to that sound. And let's now we're gonna take this on an arpeggio, okay? And this is gonna ensure that we are developing flow phonation throughout our entire pitch range. You really wanna make loudness, pitch, and phonation type independent of each other. In other words, what happens oftentimes is down low we may be in flow phonation, but then as we start going up higher into the middle or even the high parts of our range, we assume we have to go to pressed phonation in order to hit those pitches. That is not true. You can be in flow phonation throughout your entire range, and the buzzy card can train you and show you the pathway so that you can do this. Okay, so you can go throughout your entire usable range and train in the flow phonation coordination. Now, what you got to do is then you need to put some exercise after. So you could do a buzzy card to a ma, so that would be like this. Ma, 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 ma. So that really makes my ma like flowy and not pressed. Ma, 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 like that. Really want to avoid that. I know that that's an extreme example, but a lot of times people are going there, especially on the high note. We want to counteract that and we want to keep training in flow. Now, you can do your mums, you can do your nays, or whatever exercises you have, but ultimately, I think you should work toward just doing it on an ah vowel, like this. If you could see, like, it's very simple to do like that. I did not used to do this. It used to be such a muscular effort for me to not even, well, first of all, I could never even sing up to IC. I mean, I used to cap out at like F or F sharp. And it was like I was lifting a truck every time I was trying to do that. Or I was shouting at somebody. And I really had to undo all of those things. And this is why I'm putting this in this video here, is because flow phonation, this idea of flowing throughout your entire range is one of the biggest components that turn that around for me. And I hope it can do the same for you. So alternate this buzzy card, feeling a little bit of cold air on your fingers, feeling the card buzz. That's going to put you into flow phonation, and take advantage of that and go to one of your exercises immediately after. It should give you a lot of relief here. And in fact, even though it feels lighter than pressed phonation, this type of phonation has the potential to actually be the loudest, because you will give off more resonance. The vocal tract works better with this type of phonation. So keep working on this. Okay, now I want to move on to step number 3, which is about registration and mix voice. So this idea of kind of blending your chest voice with your head voice in a very simple terms, can be very confusing and hard to learn to do. So I want to show you an exercise that I think makes it much more understandable and much more applicable. We are going to make this very soft ooh sound like this. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So I'm basically sighing through that, and I'm noticing, I call them white sparks. It's like this almost metallic noise that I hear. I hear it in a place. These frequencies, they're well above the vibrations that we can actually feel. Our mechanical receptors stop feeling sound vibration at about 800 hertz, and we become completely invisible to them at 1000 hertz or 1 kilohertz. And the metallic noise that I'm hearing is at about 2K and above, and honestly really about 5K and above. So it's well out of our range of physical feeling, but the perception of it here is so vivid that sometimes it's hard to tell the difference if I'm feeling it or if I'm hearing it. But I know better, and so I try to listen for it here, and I imagine when I perceive it as like white sparks. These are my imageries, but you can borrow them and play with them and create your own once you start to be like, oh yeah, I'm noticing these things in my voice now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put this this light ooh on an arpeggio. Ooh, and I'm feeling these little migrations. I'm not going to falsetto. There's more of a focus to this sound than whoo, like completely letting go into falsetto, but it's still very light. You could think of it as kind of a head voice, but I'm still hearing these higher metallic frequencies here the whole time. And I'm noticing the voice kind of rotate upward as well, which is important because we need to follow that rotation with the next exercise in just a second. You notice there's not like a huge disconnect or disconnect at all there. One of the things we're doing is we are learning something called differential control. There's a muscle in the thyroidnoid muscle, which is the muscle in your vocal cord. It's split up into sections, and there's a section of it that's called the muscularis portion that lowers pitch. So when that muscle engages, it helps you lower the pitch. When you're raising pitch, you need to learn to let go of that. Now what happens is we tend to let go of the entire group of muscles. We don't want to do that. We want to learn to let go of one portion while keeping the other portions, the vocalis, which is kind of an important one, still engaged. So we're learning differential control. We're learning to literally let go and hold on at the same time. And that's why mixed voice is so dang hard at first. But once you start to experience these sensations, it starts to become a reality for you of like, oh my gosh, that is how I can sing through my break. That is how I can sing high notes legitimately without hurting myself, but still sounding expressive and full. Okay, so what you want to do next is follow that path with some exercise. You could do a mum again, or you could just do an ah, like I'm going to do right now. Ooh, ah. So on the ah, I'm allowing that to kind of fill out more. But it seems more like of an acoustic bloom than a muscular bearing down. Ooh, ah, And that right there, I'm in mix on top. I'm not shouting. I'm not breaking. The voice feels like it's starting to rotate up this way. Can we talk for a minute? Girl, I want to know your name. Can we talk, walk for a minute? So see, when you're there, when you're in this kind of turned over, seems like to me like another dimension or this like other pathway that I just never knew was there until I learned how to do it and until I trained it in. Like when you're in there, you can just start singing these melodies. All of a sudden they become available to you. So you have to learn this mixed voice. You got to work on it. And so this exercise is really useful. Going back and forth from this soft ooh on triads or arpeggios, and then going to another exercise like an ah or a ma or something like that. And just start taking advantage of those feelings of the differential control that the soft ooh is showing you. It's your teacher. It's showing you how to do this. These 3 steps, if practiced, will help you sing better. Not only will they help you sing better, they'll help you sing better, I hope, than you ever could have imagined. But my friend, here is the honest truth. For things to change for you, you have to change. And for things to get better, you have to get better. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. My friend, you must either modify your dreams or magnify your skills. So if you are unwilling to modify your dreams of becoming the singer that you want to be and that you know you can be, then you got to magnify your skills.